Welcome to the Kellogg Innovation Network Global Summit, Kin Global 2014. It's great to have everybody here, and by everybody, I mean everybody. We have 250 delegates from all 6 continents, over 20 countries. In fact, where's Jackie Musri from Indonesia? Jackie, where are you? Wave your hand. You get an award. I don't see him. He must not be here. There he is, Jackie. Jackie, you get the Deep Vein Thrombosis Award from the Kin for coming from the furthest distance. Jackie is one of the founders of Kin ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. They decided that this was something they wanted to do. They created their own down in Jakarta. They have every year in December, and it's really an extraordinary event. In fact, I met Jonathan Wilson sitting right next to him at that event. Because of what they did, our community grows. And Pablo Restrepo, where's Pablo? Pablo, where are you? All I have to do is say Colombia, and there he is, Pablo. So Pablo Restrepo is our unofficial ambassador to Colombia from the Kin, and we have here a record from any country other than the United States of America, 17 people from Colombia. Let's say here, Colombia. Viva la Colombia! Is that pretty close? So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, the Kin is a group of innovation and growth leaders from around the world. They're doing extraordinary things across sectors: business, government, nonprofit, the arts, academia, defense. In fact, at Kin we say never leave serendipity to chance. And what we mean by that is, if you'll always look in the same places, you're liable to find the same answers. So we look to people from other sectors, not necessarily our own. We know what our competitors are doing. They know what we're doing. So we need to look elsewhere. We look to people from other countries, other cultures, other backgrounds to understand how we can be better. Our theme this year is change at scale. We've recognized that change has changed and continues to change precipitously. In fact, change today is much different than it was 20 years ago. 7 billion people on the planet, unprecedented in human history. We're working and thinking at the nano and the quantum levels. We're not even really sure what that means yet, but we're doing it. And we're going to space. A little bit more on that later on. So change is changing, scale is changing, and we have to understand how to scale the things that work to make the world better. And I am extraordinarily pleased to be able to say to you that our theme for this morning, Change the World, sounds megalomaniacal, perhaps it is, but we can with confidence say that everyone who will be on the stage this morning is truly out changing the world in some way. I'll introduce them as we go through the morning, but these are people who inspire me, who enlighten me, and I hope they do the same for you. The video you saw as you were walking in, beautiful video from Antarctica, was actually a family trip. Not my trip, but my sister Stephanie Walcott, whom you'll meet later on, who will be moderating a panel. Stephanie is my co-curator this year and an honorary co-founder of the Kellogg Innovation Network. She went with one of our keynoters last year, Sir Robert Swan, to Antarctica. Robert Swan, as my Kenians will recall, is the only person in history to have walked to the South Pole and walked to the North Pole unaided. Now, he had people with him, but I mean no GPS, no smartphones, no really smart anything. In fact, given they were walking to the South Pole, I'd have to say they probably weren't even very smart. But this is truly extraordinary. He is the craziest, brilliant person I've ever met in my entire life. He does crazy things that no one could ever imagine in order to raise awareness, in order to bring people together. So Stephanie went with Robert Swan last year, again this year, to take a delegation to Antarctica to understand that continent, to protect it as we move to 2041 when the global contracts, the global treaties expire. He's doing extraordinary work. He wishes he could be here today. He cannot be here today. He's preparing for his next expedition. He'll tell you a bit about in a video that he's created just for us. So with that, Sir Robert Swan.
Hi everybody at Kin Global. This is Rob Swan, the Polar Explorer. Last year it was an honor to be part of your conference, and thank you so much to so many of you for being interested and staying in contact with us and having great ideas to move things forward. In my humble opinion, leadership is about walking the talk. And only a few weeks ago, we were in the Antarctic, and of course, the wonderful Stephanie Walcott was there again with us. And I want to thank Stephanie and Rob for supporting a magnificent young lady from the United Arab Emirates, who joined us on the expedition, one of the first Arab women ever to visit the Antarctic. Thanks for your support and the support of all of you in the room there today. Now, in the end of 2015, we are returning to the South Geographic Pole. It's time again to walk that talk, and we will be undertaking a journey of over 1,000 miles on foot in temperatures down to minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, a bit chilly. And on that expedition, we will pioneer the use, we will survive on the use of renewable energy, something that no one's ever dared undertake in those terrible conditions high up there towards the South Geographic Pole. And we intend to show young people that these things can work, and we need to engage with renewable technology and renewable energy on a much bigger scale on Earth. I think what I've seen over the last couple of years is a fairly poor performance by world leaders, but a great performance by industry and business. You know, there's money to be made out there, and after visiting countries like India and China, you know, where they're starting this whole process of engaging on sustainability, you know, they see that in order to make it last, people need to be making good business out of it. I know that in the audience there today are a group of students from the Northwestern University. Guys and girls, it's your future. Get hold of it and stay in touch with us here at 2041. You never know, you might visit the Antarctic one day. So I wish you all the best of luck with today's conference. Here I am warming up on the shores of Lake Tahoe, ready for our big expedition from the South Pole next year. We're doing our bit, and while we're doing our bit in the Antarctic, please follow us and be doing your bit. Every small bit counts, and leadership is about inspiration and showing people that things are possible, not impossible. Good luck to you all. This is Rob Swan. Message ends.
So thank you to Rob Swan. Those of you who were with us last year, remember he was larger than life, so this video was metaphorical for that. I do want to share something though, and I'm going to read it directly so I don't mess any of the details up. On May 12th, NASA announced that the West Antarctic ice sheet is now collapsing due to climate change. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change had estimated 1 to 3 feet sea level rise by 2100 due to climate change, but that did not take into account the West Antarctic ice sheet melting. Now that it has started to melt, there's no telling what this will do. So his work is important, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on, and we're pleased that he's doing it. And he mentioned the role of business. This is something we believe at the Kellogg School of Management deeply, that business has a role to play in the world. We certainly need to make money. If we don't, we're all out of business. But we can do a lot more than that. We can do well by doing good. That's one of the topics we discuss at the KIN. But as we transition to this morning, how do we change the world? You're going to see some great people talking about the things they're doing, what they're doing to change the world, why it's important, why it's inspiring, exciting, why we should get on board. But we're going to do something else as well. We're a university after all. We're going to talk about how. We're going to say, how do we address these challenges? If you are seeking a mission of importance, where do you find them? Once you've found something, once you're the dog that caught the truck, what do you do with it? How do you move that big vision forward? What does it feel like to be a world changer? What do you need to know before you step up for the slings and arrows?